Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Kiely, president of the Ad Club, and we're back again on the Big Orange Couch. Today we have John McDonnell, the COO and executive vice president of Patron Spirits. Welcome to the Big Orange Couch.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So you did a wonderful presentation.
Thanks.
And we had some good laughs in there. Tell us a little bit, first of all, let's talk a little bit about your background, because I think the fun part of the Big Orange Couch is you get to hear a little bit of the personal side from everyone.
Well, I'm a Boston bred. I grew up in Hyde Park. I went to Catholic Memorial and graduated Suffolk University. That's where I met my wife. We have 2 kids, and I've moved them 14 times in my career all over the world, and now we're back in Boston for the last 4 years, and very happy to be here.
So talk a little bit about Tequila. You started off on a fun tone in there. You said everyone has their bad tequila experience.
Right.
You, however, are selling an ultimate premium tequila. How did you get around that?
When you look at all the different categories in beverage alcohol, there's always a standard, a mid-range, and an ultra-premium, and there was never an ultra-premium tequila, and so that space was void. And so we came out and made 100% blue agave tequila, because the horror stories that everybody likes to share with us, those aren't 100% blue agave tequilas. They're 51% blue agave, and the other 49% are grain neutral spirits. So that's the least expensive, cheapest alcohol, and that's what causes people to have the headaches.
Right.
Patron is 100% blue agave, and then it's been a slow process, but finally we're converting people that tequila is a luxury category.
Yeah. Talk about the first ad that you launched, because it was such a beautifully simple ad with such a simple message. Talk about that ad.
When you look at all the cues of the brand, it's such a beautiful bottle, and you're thinking to yourself, we don't have to overthink this. So we had a great product and a beautiful package. So we were able in 2 words to describe both. Simply perfect. The package is simply perfect, and the liquid was simply perfect. And the message was easy for people to digest.
Yeah. And I think it's important to talk about price points a little bit so people really appreciate how important it is for you to position this brand correctly. So give us a range in pricing for a bottle.
Okay, your cheap, inexpensive tequilas are about $15 for a 750 ml. Patron for a 750 ml is in the $40 price range. Yeah. Okay, people say, now why would I pay $25 more per bottle? Well, it's very simple. One, ours is 100% blue agave. So tequila comes from the agave plant. It takes 8 years for this plant to grow. And when you think about aging and bottling, it's almost equivalent to a 12-year-old Scotch. Also, everything about our product is done by hand. There's no machinery with the exception of putting the liquid in the bottle. And that's because the government regulates the filling of the bottles. Everything else is done by hand. The glass is handmade, recycled, and everything's recycled. And what a lot of people don't realize, and since we're sitting in Massachusetts, is all our boxes are made in Mansfield, Massachusetts at Hub Folding Box.
Oh, how nice.
And then we ship it down to Mexico.
Yeah, the bottles are spectacular, and those are all handmade.
All handmade, all hand numbered. Everything is done by hand.
And there's a misconception among the naysayers that you mass produce.
Yes.
But you don't. It's a small batch process, right?
Correct. We started with one small factory, and you have, there's ovens to cook the agave, and then you copper stills and barrels. And what we do is, as we've grown, we've replicated that small distillery. So now we have 12 small distilleries under one roof in Jalisco, Mexico.
Interesting.
So anybody that tells you we're mass producers is not.
I know better now.
Yes, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about your social media, because you touched on a couple of efforts that you're doing that sounded and were so smart to me, like the social club. Talk a little bit about the events in the social club, and then the other one which you named the social life audit, which I thought was so much fun.
Well, when you look at all the companies, consumer goods companies, everybody wants to have their own social loyalty club. And so we needed to have one too. But the key point was we don't want to be a Me Too. Anybody can do it and send you a card in the mail.
Right.
Ours is about having an experience with Patron that money can't buy. So when you sign up for the Patron Social Club, you have opportunities to apply to special events that money can't buy. So for example, when the Celtics played the Miami Heat 2 years ago, when LeBron James came on the Heat, and they came to Boston Garden for opening night, we had a handful of Patron loyalists came to the Boston Garden, and we wined and dined them, put them in seats on the floor that they couldn't have access to. So it was special. And think about the loyalty that creates when you can talk to a consumer one-on-one and give them that experience.
Absolutely.
And then they start tweeting all over.
Sure.
You just got to make sure it's a good experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Ultimate Vodka that you mentioned, the social life audit. People are so stressed these days, and they're happy to have a job, and unemployment the numbers don't look too good. So people are working harder than they've ever worked before and probably making less money. So we thought, we would talk to those consumers. They need to have a work-life balance, and especially the Generation X and Ys. Balance in life is more important than how much money you make. So we've talked to those consumers, and they can go online, and with computer these days, algorithms, we can have them take a test, and it actually tells them whether they're having a good social life or not. And if they are not, then we suggest they should go and relax with our Ultimate Vodka drink. So it's been very successful.
So what do we see on the horizon? I know you've been dabbling in a lot of new products.
We're going to come out with another upscale tequila that's has a different finish to it, and that's just about ready to launch. And then we're going to extend the Patron XO coffee liqueur. We just launched the Patron coffee chocolate. Now we're going to come out with another flavor extension.
Wonderful.
So we're very excited about that. Things are good.
Entry point for people.
Yeah. Well, I just appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, because it's so important we get to talk to consumers one-to-one.
Absolutely. Well, we loved having you. And now that I know you're here in Boston, I'm sure I'll be seeing you
Anytime.
in the North End.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you so much, John. We
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Take care. Cheers.
And thank you for joining us once again on the Big Orange Couch.